All right. So our title of our webinar is Make Your Job Easier, Track and Manage Changes in Your Data Center. Any questions, feel free to email me. My email is right there. It's fred.co@graphicalnetworks.com. Or feel free to go to graphicalnetworks.com if you have any questions. And feel free to email me. So again, today is a 30-minute webinar. I'm just going to do a quick overview of how to manage changes in your data centers. I'll show a very brief overview of NetTerrain, how you can capture and manage changes within your data centers. And then towards the end of the webinar, I'll go ahead and answer some of your questions you may have. So the problem is, you can see here, your data center is always constantly changing. And how do you manage those changes today? Are you using spreadsheets, Visio diagrams? Is it all in someone's head? Mr. Network Guy, Mr. Data Center Manager? What happens if you hire third-party contractors to help you plug, unplug, decommission, migrate projects within your data centers? How are you the ability to capture and track all those changes that really occur every day? So without documentation, we feel that, and we've seen this from a lot of our customers, the troubleshooting takes a lot longer. The equipment isn't fully decommissioned. If you look at a series of our blogs that I've written, we talk a lot about zombie cables, zombie servers, a lot of connections that are left hanging, like one port is connected, but the other port got unplugged. So you have a lot of these equipments and cables that are not fully decommissioned. And how can you properly manage capacity for cables, for the rack space availability, without proper documentation? The solution, so a little bias here. We make our product called NetTerrain, NetTerrain DCIM, or Data Center Infrastructure Management. See, with a decent solution, really a visual tool, if it's not even NetTerrain, it could be other solutions out there. It can really help you manage and track your changes, all the way down from the port changes, down to equipment moves, decommission the product, server, router, switches, the ability to find zombie servers, and to find a better way to help decommission an equipment. Whether that's done through a service desk type tool like ServiceNow, or a DSAM solution that has a work order task where you can properly decommission equipment, as well as cables. And forgive me, I don't know if we have any polling questions. Let me stop the share. And next part, I'm going to go through just a really quick overview of our NetTerrain products. So I'm going to stop my share. All right, I'm going to launch my first polling question. So how do you currently use, what do you currently use to help track changes within your data centers? Do you currently have a DSAM solution already in place? Do you use spreadsheets, Visio diagrams, a combination of both spreadsheets and Visios, coworkers that knows everything, or nothing at all? So I'll give this maybe 15 more seconds. All right, we have a clear winner. It is spreadsheets. Everyone here in today's webinar picked spreadsheets. And one other question I'll launch. So when I go through a quick overview of our NetTerrain products, what is it that you want to see out of it? Do you want to see how to help track outages, manage capacity, racks, decommission equipment, or manage cables? All right. So I'll give us another 10 seconds and I'll stop this polling. All right, looks like we have a clear winner. Capacity planning. Help manage rack capacity, as well as decommission commitments. So for the people that are here, if you guys don't mind, I will skip back cables and talk a bit more about decommission equipment, how to help manage your racks and capacity planning. So I'm going to go back and share my screen again. I'm going to go into NetTerrain. All right. So NetTerrain itself, you can either install NetTerrain on your own server. So we do offer on-premise licenses. We also offer a NetTerrain SaaS solution as well. If you want to go to NetTerrain SaaS, you go under here, and hit start my free trial. I'll put this on the chat window. So this is a 14-day trial for you to try at NetTerrain. I'll put this in the chat here. All right, so the chat I put in the Zoom webinar, it gives you the link for this. So again, you can create your own account for 14 days and try it out. So NetTerrain is basically managing objects. Objects consist of nodes, racks, and devices. So you can create building views, you can do floors. You can go create your own data center rooms. So this is a data center room. So you're looking at a bird's eye view of a data center. So these are racks. These racks are color coded. As you can tell, rack A1 is red. So that is because you're trying to manage the capacity of the racks by space availability, which is this part right here. So rack overrides. If you want to see how much rack capacity there is by power availability, as well as weight availability. So right off the bat, that's one quick way to help manage your capacity within your data center rooms, as well as on a per rack basis. So again, that's what we call these rack overrides. They're color coded based on this percentage fill. So if a rack is 0 to 25%, it's green, then yellow, orange, and red. And also at a glance, we have these mini type stats within your data center rooms. So at a glance, you can tell there's 2,039 devices, there's 27,000 ports. But again, I won't go through the ports today, connections. But at a glance, you can see there's some type of capacity type reports in that terrain. So I want to go down to your rack. In rack A1, you can tell there's 0 available units. There's 10,000 watts of power available. 10,870 watts are used. And here's the weight. So when you double click on the actual rack, it takes you down to the actual specific rack and equipment inside the rack. And again, here you can see there's 12 devices. Again, this is more cable type stats. But it's basically drag and drop items from catalog. So you can just drag this up right here. You can place it on the back of a rack. So it's basically drag and dropping items from the catalog to the rack. So that's what NetTerrain does. If you click on a specific object, you can see that each object has the 3,000 watts, the weight of the device. If you double click on the device, these cards, You can basically move these cards into place. So that's done through our catalog. Our catalog of devices is quite substantial. I think with our next release, we'll have close to 20,000 devices and cards in our catalog. Again, as you can see, if you double click on one of the cards, you can actually go down to the actual ports. Again, this is all done with our devices catalog. If there's a particular device not in the catalog, you can either model your own type, or 98% of our customers do. They will email our customer support, enter a ticket, and we will provide you the vendor-specific icon within 24, 48 hours. So if it's a very tedious process of finding busy stencils and trying to put the ports inside each stencil, it's very time consuming. This can be a good solution for you. It's very important. Again, this is tracking all the ports and port connections, card capacity, card management, as well as tracking that down to each individual device. We also have the ability to, some people like these rack views, where you basically click on different racks and you do a composite view, so you can see an entire row of cabinets. So that's something you can do. We call it the composite views in NetTerrain. So that's one aspect of managing capacity within your data centers, data center rooms, as well as data center racks. We also have a dashboard reports. I'll pull this up real quick. These dashboard reports are only available for on-premise licenses, not available for our SaaS. So I just want to give that caveat for these dashboard type reports. So with these dashboard reports, you can actually build your own reports. It's almost like a self-contained business intelligence dashboards that you can bring in. So this is, for example, a summary of your entire NetTerrain project. For example, this has 4 and 4 diagrams, number of cabinets, devices, ports. We have a couple standard data center capacity type reports that you can view here. Again, you can customize this. So top 5 rooms by rack counts, rack utilization, rooms, room count, cabinet counts. This is also showing you rack capacity by rooms, rack nameplate power as well. We do have the ability, we do also have a real-time power monitoring as well. As well as all your assets. If you want to see all your Dell equipment, you click on this pie and it will pull up a report. All right. So one of the aspects of managing capacity is, and one highlight I did mention earlier, was finding the zombie servers. So how on earth can you find zombie servers? Well, first of all, zombie servers are servers that are installed on the rack. It's plugged in, it consumes power, it consumes valuable rack space. So with that real-time power monitoring, which is included in NetTerrain DCIM, it's not an additional add-on cost. You can use one of our features called low utilization servers. So we have the ability to find these servers that are drawing power that are really not doing any functions. So here is the name of the server. And then you can actually see these inside NetTerrain. If we go to the A3 rack, these are your Dell PowerEdge servers. So we do this through, discover this through IPMI and SNMP. So again, that's another part of managing capacity within your data centers, tracking changes, the ability to find zombie servers, and you have the tools necessary to see what you should do. So that goes back to work orders. So for example, you want to like say decommission this server, you can create a work order task. Right down there, it's like a decommission device. So you have a lot of different work orders that you can create. I'll say turn down server. Then you get this task this to an owner. Let's go like me. I counter add, delete, so you hit delete, and this is the due date. Then once you hit submit, you'll see this is a work order task. Then you can see how the device kind of grays out, kind of disappears. So you know that there is a pending work order for that device. So that's a good way to help manage capacity. If you need to add in the equipment inside a rack, make sure it's reserved. It's the exact same process of removing the device. So you know there's an object there that's going to be installed on your rack. So that's part of our work orders. Doing searches in NetTerrain is very powerful. For example, if you want to, this is the name of this device. If you want to do a search, it's an S. So with NetTerrain, you can search for anything, any object, any data field, hit search. And then we'll pull the report right here. I'll show you show and diagram. Then it'll highlight to you. We'll also have a query type reports as well. So if you know SQL statements, and you can create these queries. So I think I have one here, for example, like rack devices, maintenance reports, costs. I'll do maintenance report. So here is some tool report builders you can use. You can see you can filter by maintenance expiration, warranty expiration. If you're looking for a particular device and say, hey, where is this device located? Basically hit show and diagram. So then it will point it to you. You can see a blink right here. So yeah, NetTerrain, let me just go from the beginning. I should have done this from the very start, so I apologize. So again, with NetTerrain, it's very easy to get started. You basically drag objects from the catalog to the site. You know, buildings. If you want to do an image, do a map. I'll do College Park. Okay. And you can place buildings on top of it. Double click on it. If you have pictures of buildings, you can import that here. Again, building hierarchy is very easy. You basically hit rooms. Room. Then you can build rooms into the diagrams. But I'll stop here. Again, you can build a hierarchy how you like. I'll just do a grid here, and I'll add a rack. You resize this, it snaps to place. If you don't want that del sign, you just hide it. And devices, I'll just go to my core patch. And the server, making connections very easy. You click, highlight the two devices you want connected, hit connections, hit insert cables. Those will take you down to the port level. Let's say I want to F1, 3, connect to ports 1, 2, 3, create connections. I'll just make this an Ethernet connection. So that's how you make a connection in NetTerrain. These are connections I just created. All right, so how to import data or get started. We have many different ways to import data. You can upload your Excel. You can also import Visio diagrams. If you have any Google Earth type diagrams, you can import that into NetTerrain. You can export these diagrams to PDF, PowerPoint, Visio, and you can also lump this as an HTML package that you can give to your clients. And we also have one piece and I'll stop, so we're almost out of time. Included in NetTerrain is our NetTerrain collector. This houses our SNMP network discovery. In our new 9.5 version, which is going to be released at the end of the month, we're actually going to have an alarm console. So if you want to find a way to discover your network, if you want to try to automate more of those processes, you can do that in NetTerrain. SNMP network discovery. We're building a brand new AWS connector. It's going to discover your Kubernetes as well. That's going to be released in our next version. If you have Observian, Zabbix, PRTG, we're coming up with those all new connectors as well. We have connectors already into ServiceNow, SolarWinds, Spectrum, vCenter. Again, this is just a way to help automate some of your data collection. Again, you don't have to do this. Many of our customers don't connect to any data sources, but I just want to throw that out there to you. And it looks like we only have 5 minutes left. I'm going to stop my share and see if there are any questions. It looks like we have no questions at this time. So I hope this was useful for everybody that's attended today's webinar. So again, my name is Fred Coe. Again, if you want to try out NetTerrain 14 days, feel free to sign up with that link that I provided in the chat. And lastly, again, if you have any questions, feel free to email me. Again, fred.coe, it's K-O-H at graphlnetworks.com. Again, the free trial. Again, the netterrain.us is the website. Thank you so much, everyone, for your attendance. I hope this was useful. I hope this will make your life easier, especially for those data center managers, network operations, network engineers, to help manage your data center. So thank you again.